Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing well. I seem to be getting this question a lot recently, and it's like, how or when did this specific moment in time come about for you where you found trading consistency, right? And I'm going to be completely dead honest with you, and I wish someone had told me this a couple years ago, is that you're not going to find this free holy grail system, If you were, you would have found it by now, but it's not the case at all. It really does start with you. It really does start with you taking the action, really sitting down, getting to the crux. If it means working late nights, whatever it may be, on the weekends, saying no to your friends or whatever it may be, dedicating the time and effort that's actually needed to master this game. That is what you need to do. And that's what I did. I sat a couple years ago. I can remember the exact same day where I picked up this one concept that was just, it was like a little bit of an aha moment for me, and I went with it. And that's what it's all about. That's what we're here to do, right? We're here to try and make money. We're here to break through whatever society puts up in front of us. We're here to have fun whilst doing it. That's ultimately why we're also trying to do it. Trading is stressful. I'm gonna be honest, it is fucking hard as well. But yeah, I think if this is something that is kind of resonating with you, I'm going to leave my link to my private mentorship in the description below. And if this is something that you're interested in, mainly looking for serious traders, to be entirely honest with you, go check it out. I think you're really going to like what you'll see in there. But let's get back into it. And I want to get back to this point about you taking the mindset and you taking the step. I've had a couple guys join my mentorship recently, and I thought it would be a great sort of opportunity to show you their results that they've been making on the last couple months. So if you have a look over here, this is Dolce. He, an absolute legend, milked Eurodollar last week for $4,000. And now he recently came to me with a similar sort of situation. I'm not necessarily finding the consistency I'm looking for. What's going on? What should I do? And I said to him, like, listen, man, you know, I back you, back yourself. I'm going to give you the basics of what you maybe already understand and what you maybe already know. And he already knew quite a lot of the stuff that I was showing him. And the main thing that he kind of said to me was like, hey, this really clicks for me because I need to focus on these other things that I haven't been focusing on. And that's ultimately it, right? Trading strategy is one thing, but it's also about risk management. It's also about trade management. It's about how do you go about doing things on a day-to-day basis? How do you go about, waking up, executing the same thing every single day? But it starts with a systematic approach, and that is what I teach the guys. You can also see here Thomas, another absolute cracking day for him, $1,300 in the bag. And this was when I was showing you how I passed my FTMO last week, and these guys were all taking the same trades as me. It's the same instances where I find day to day they are sending me trade setups because I've I've shown them a simple and easy executable model that they can repeat on their own without me. So much so that they now actually show me when to trade. And I think that's so cool. That's what it's all about. Because when they show me that they know what they're looking at, I know that they've understood exactly the concepts that I'm looking for, or at least trying to explain to them, right? So I thought it would be great to kind of break down a similar trade that we all took together last week. And I remember, if I rewind to a couple of the sessions I had with you last week, was high time frame bias, lower time frame execution. Those are the two things you're looking for. So if you have a look over here, you can see how Eurodollar, we pinged up into the supply area over here. We then traded back down into this displacement area where we found some sort of, resistance, if you want to call it that. Price then started to chop and trade back in here. We then had price kind of mitigate this 50% of the leg back into this higher time frame supply area, right? So that was my high time frame bias, and now I'm combining this with my low time frame execution. So if I go and have a look over here, you can see we have this nice perfect Asia range forming. Price then comes in, takes this high. I showed you this also in the previous video, how I look for that sort of 3-box pattern, which is what a lot of people maybe call AMD. And then I'm looking for price to distribute back to the downside. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what I was looking for in this particular trade. And if you have a look over here, price broke this low over here, and this was coming into London Open. So for me, I'm now looking to get into this position, right? So I waited around, eventually got my sell limit taken in. I put my stops just above this high. I think it was around 13 pips or so. Targeting around 2 to 1 in this instance. And if you have a look over here, we had this really nice build up of liquidity sitting over here. And if you also have a look to the left, we had this nice sell side liquidity target here, internal, and I guess this would have been my sort of external range. So the most immediate one I was really curious to see how we would react from was this sell side liquidity point here. Okay, and if you just let this play out for the rest of the day, we took this high, formed a nice sort of double confirmation. We then actually went back and ran this next high. I nearly got stopped out of this trade, but following the same approach that I do every single day, I stuck in the position, I let it do its thing, as I've seen this multiple times before, and bang, price eventually hit my 2R, managed to bag over 5% on this trade, and then obviously another 5% the next day. So closing out the week with almost 10% in total, which is insane. That's exactly what you are ultimately looking for, right? Just 2 to 3 good setups in a week. That's all you need. So yeah, this was the trade I ended up taking. So I ended off the month really good in the end. And I'm curious to see how November is going to go into the rest of the year. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next session.